Good morning, fourth graders. Today we're doing lesson 2.9. So I'd write that on the top of your paper, maybe along with today's date, Wednesday, October 28th, just so you can keep your notes organized and come back to them as you need them. So today is going to be a bit of a review and more of a day to explain, really. We've gotten really good at solving these multiplication methods, but I really want to talk about why they work and have you explain really how to go through the process. So we're gonna have a little warm up here. So you see we have method A, B, C, and D. As we said yesterday, at some point they kind of all start to look a little bit the same. We get to the same answer with all of them. They're generally broken apart by place value. There's quite a few similarities. So I want you in your notebook really quick to write down 2 similarities that you see. And if you need to pause right now on the video, that's fine. But I want you to look through method A, B, C, and D and list 2 similarities. So what do you see that's the same in some of these methods? Hopefully you had a chance to pause the video and write down some similarities. If I was to look at this, I would say one thing I definitely notice is that in method A and B, it's broken apart by place value. And remember, we had the place value method or the expanded notation method. Either way, we're breaking it apart by place value. My 28 becomes a 20 and 8. And so I noticed that's the same there. And then my 9 is just a 9 because it's in the ones place. I guess the similarity, you could say it's all the same problem. It's all 28 times 9. And you'll notice that if we're doing partial products or solving it in 2 steps, both times we end up with 180 and 72. It's the same on method D. It's backwards. We have 72 and then 180, but either way, those are our two partial products there. And then another similarity is they all equal 252. So regardless of the method we used, we got to the same answer. You might notice here, we distributed out our 9 times 20 and our 9 times 8. It's written out here, so you can see exactly how we did it. Over here in method B, it's not written out, but it's clear that they did the same thing, distributing that 9 to both the 20 and the 8. Same with here. Again, it's not exactly written out. It looks like we're just pulling away. It's kind of like we're consolidating and getting smaller each step of the way. Here we had our partial products written out, then we got rid of it, and then we had our place value written out, then we got rid of it, and it's kind of just simplifying it all down. Now, there are also some differences. Again, they are all the same answer, but what do you notice that's different? So again, why don't you pause the video and come up with some ways that these are different. Hopefully you were able to notice that in method A, they wrote out exactly how it was distributed, 9 times 20 and 9 times 8. Method B, that goes away. Method C, we no longer have 28 split into 20 and 8. It's just combined. And then also in method D, you'll notice they have 72 before 180. And I want you to ask yourself before I answer why. What do you think they did to get 72 before 80? You could look over here to help you in method A if you want. If you notice, method A, method B, and method C, they all have 180 first and then 72. This one is 72 and then 180. So all they did was just flip-flop it. They just did 9 times 8 first, which is 72, and then 9 times 20, which is 180. If you're thinking about our area model though, usually you're gonna have your bigger number first because your bigger number is off to the left. So if we were to set up an area model here, we'd have 20 and 8 and then 9 on the side here. If you wanna quickly solve this in your notebook, that would be awesome. And you can see how when you solve it with the area model, how it actually matches up exactly to what was just shown for you. So why don't you take a quick second to do that? And then maybe see which method does it match up best with, A, B, C, or D. All right, hopefully you had a chance to pause the video and solve. We know that 9 times 20, and I'm going to write it out here. Hopefully your writing is a little bit cleaner than mine is with a mouse. So I know that my 9 has to be multiplied by 20 and my 9 has to be multiplied by 8. Same ideas right here. Same ideas right here. So it's really the same thing. It's just pulling away that rectangle. So 9 times 20 is 180. And then I know 9 times 8 is 72. Well, look at that. I got the exact same answer. It's just set up a little bit differently. So again, as we go through this, I want you exploring and kind of thinking to yourself which way works best for you. If you really like to see it visually with the area model, that's fine. Method A is pretty much the exact same thing. Has both equations written out. It's just without the rectangle. And then method B, it still has it split up into 20 and 8, just like in the area model. And then method C right here, these are your partial products, your two subtotals. So hopefully we're seeing there's a lot of ways we can do this. Either way, we need to rely on our place value knowledge and know that 20 is not just a 2, it's 20. That's a big important part. And also know that when we multiply our 10s and multiply our 1s, we're going to have to add them together at the end. If we split them apart in the beginning, they got to come back together at the end. So I'll do a couple more with you. Today is a little bit more of a review day. And so here is some, again, the same idea here. They have it shown as partial products and shown as new groups. Again, it's just talking about the ways they're different and the ways that they're the same. I'm going to actually go through that one really quick. Let's see here. So what we're going to have is I'm actually going to go down here. I want you guys to pick out, I'm going to pause. I want you guys to pick out 3 of the problems from 4 through 11 to solve in your notebook. It says sketch a rectangle if necessary. So sketch an area model if necessary. If not, you can do your partial products, or you can do it the traditional top-down multiplication way. I want you to pick out 3. I mean, you could do all of them if you'd really like. Pick out at least 3 and solve them and try to use different methods. If you'd like to do ones with me, I will do 4 and 10 as examples. And then actually 4, 10, and 7. And then if you want to do those ones with me so you can double check your work, if you want to do 3 other ones, that is fine. Totally up to you. See if you could do an area model, do a place value. You could do the distributive, however you want to set it up. Just kind of challenge yourself to try it a couple different ways. Pause the video, solve the 3, and then come back and I will finish up for you. So hopefully you got a chance to solve 3. I'm going to go through these 3 really quick, and then if you want to double check, you can. So I'm going to try, the first way I'm going to do it is with the area model. So I know that if I'm splitting my 63 up, it's the same as 60 plus 3. And again, apologize for my messy handwriting here. So I have 63 here, 60 and 3. And remember, my 60 gets a little bit bigger space because it's a bigger number. My 3 is a little smaller. And then my 5 is on the side. My 5 needs to be multiplied by both 60 and 3. So my first one here, 5 times 60, I know that 5 times 6 is 30. I add a 0 back, I'm at 300. You guys, for multiplying your 10s, you can always hide your zeros. Pretend it's not there, multiply it, and then bring it back. It's a much easier strategy. And I know 5 times 3 is 15. I need to add my 2 boxes up. Luckily, I can use mental math on this one, and I know my answer is 315. All right. For 86 times 4, I'm going to split it up into 80. I'm going to push myself to use my 5th grade parentheses into 80 times 4 and 6 times 4. Same exact idea. I'm still splitting it up into tens and ones. There we go. And I know that I have to solve the parentheses 4 first. I know that 8 times 4 is 32. 10 times more than that would be 320. And then I know that 6 times 4 is 24. So now I'm left with 2 separate numbers because I do each equation separately in the parentheses. But it's just like you're left with over here in your rectangle. Same idea. It's just pulling apart in parentheses instead. So my answer would be 344. And again, guys, if this is moving too fast, go ahead, pause it, come back. And then my last one here, 76 times 3. There's 2 different ways I want you to try. You could do 3 times 70 plus 6. And then you know you need to distribute. Do this kind of a rainbow multiplication, right? 3 times 70, 3 times 6. Or you could set it up as they like to set it up on top. Like we said, you could do it either way, 3 times 70 with 3 times 6 underneath. And again, I'm going to hide my 0. 3 times 7 is 21, but it's 10 times more than that, so it's 210. 3 times 6 is 18. And guess what? I add up my 2 partial products, and away I go with 228. So today was just kind of a quick review, guys. It's really just a practice day to try out different methods, see how they're connected, see how they're different. In your quiz today, you will have to try a couple different ways to solve. Push yourself to be creative and flexible and out of your comfort zone. Maybe give a different method a try. And today I want you to really focus on these similarities and differences and see that regardless of if we set up the problem differently, we are still coming up with the same answers. You can kind of think to yourself, why is that? If someone asked you, you can use different methods, but why do you get the same answer? I want you to kind of think of an answer for that question today as you're working.